So with society becoming more dependent on technology, we are all spending a lot of time behind our cell phones, our iPads, our computers, you name it. All the technology we're using is having a severe impact on our ability to communicate with other people and become social as a whole. As a result, a lot of people are dealing with social anxiety, and it's very difficult for them to communicate and have a professional and proper social life. Situations that used to require actual human communication have been replaced with different methods that no longer require us to communicate. And this can be seen with calling people has turned to texting, emailing. People don't even have to come into work anymore. People can literally work remotely and not talk to a single person for about 8 hours straight. And if they're working more, that's more time that they're spending without communication and socializing, something that's very critical to human growth. Without having these repetitions in, it makes it really difficult to progress your social skills and actually want to interact with other humans. We're so glued to technology that it's almost a burden to take a break from what we're doing to socialize with somebody, even if it's for a few seconds. Whenever I go to the gym, I always scan in at the front desk, and usually people that are there, they'll just be on their phone and they can hear the beep from my barcode getting scanned, so they know I'm present, but it's just too much of a hassle for them, and I guess they just don't have any motivation to want to just say hi, how are you, or thank you for coming here, enjoy your workout, something small like that. Common courtesy, a little social interaction would be great for both of us. But you probably don't think this is a big deal, but the thing is, these small social problems elevate and evolve into bigger social problems. Someone who's not willing to make that small little interaction is not going to be willing to make a big interaction a few days later or whenever the time presents itself. And if someone is too scared to make a remark there, they're not going to be able to talk in front of a large group of people. They're not going to be able to present in public, and it's just going to affect their overall social confidence. And if you put yourself in this situation, you're kind of doomed, and you're not going to be able to progress and become as successful as you like to be. Someone who's too scared to even say hello to somebody is going to lack the social will and the desire to talk to different people, and they're not going to be able to communicate effectively in situations where there are more stakes on the line. If you can't perform basic communication skills, what on earth makes you think you'll be able to communicate effectively when the stakes are actually higher, when the stakes matter? For example, if they're at a networking event and they want to talk to the recruiter afterwards, they're going to have to say more than a few words. They're going to have to try to establish an actual relationship with them, try to find common ground, and then try to expand upon this. When something is very important to you, you're not going to perform to your ideal liking, or you're not even going to hit your fullest potential. And in order to not put yourself in this situation, in order to overcome your social anxiety, you're going to have to do this. You have to put yourself in uncomfortable situations that are going to allow you to grow as a person and increase your social ability and lower just your social anxiety. Your confidence comes through repetitions, and by constantly putting yourself in uncomfortable situations, that's the only way to attack your social anxiety. I'm not gonna lie, my social anxiety growing up was so bad. I had zero confidence. I was too scared to order at restaurants. I was really scared of talking to people over the phone. I have no idea why, but I could not talk to my friends. Even if I was super cool with them in person, calling them on the phone, I'd get really nervous. I'd be really fidgety. My words would slur. I'd always I'd let the phone ring and I would let it go to voicemail and always respond back through text 10-15 minutes later, so it didn't seem like I was ignoring their calls intentionally, when in reality I was just too scared to answer it. And I know a lot of people are in that situation, and I want to be able to let you guys know that it's possible to get out of that. And in order to get out of that, you're going to have to really just kind of man up and really want to change for yourself, because if you don't want to get rid of your social anxiety, there's really nothing you can do. It has to be the mindset you install, and you're going to have to just tackle it as fast as you can. And it might be slower for some people. Some people might have to take the smaller steps instead of just being thrown into the water and then just learning. But whatever works for you, it's just a matter of taking action and continuing to take the strides to boost your social confidence and get rid of your social anxiety as a whole. if I saw somebody out in public, I would be so like nervous and I wouldn't want to talk to them. I would look the other way, or I'd turn around just so we wouldn't cross paths, just because I guess I thought it would be too awkward. But I'm honestly not really sure. Like, my body just naturally felt uncomfortable, and I knew the only way to solve that was to just get out of the environment that I was in. That was my way of coping with the situation, instead of just feeling the pain that isn't really that bad once you get over it. Let's say I was going to return something and somebody I knew was at the cashier line and I had the possibility of them being my cashier. I would get so nervous. Sometimes I would even just walk out and just not even return the item. That's how bad my social anxiety was. And I don't want people to have to face the same problems as I did and not be able to come up with solutions to aid those problems. My personal thing that I would do to allow me to get over my social anxiety was I would just start having small talk with random strangers. It's honestly the easiest to do this when you're in a line with somebody because they have literally nothing else to do. So you could literally say, like, for example, if you're in a line for a restaurant or a line for a fast food place, just say, hey, it's my first time coming here. Do you have any recommendations? And they'll usually reply with what they recommend, or if they haven't been there before, they'll say, sorry, like, I'm not a common shopper here, but I know a lot of people tend to get like the number 2 with fries. And then you can kind of leave this conversation at that. Or if they're, they seem interested to talk to you as well because they're also just waiting in line, progress the conversation forward. You can say whatever and just kind of let the conversation just flow naturally. The more repetitions you do with this, it's going to overall improve your social confidence. And this is just going to help you when it comes for the bigger things in life, such as public speaking, networking events, interacting with someone you think is attractive. Those 3 things are big aspects of your life, and it all starts with the basics. So once you finish the basics, you're going to be able to perform more professionally and at a higher efficiency rate when it comes to the bigger things to deal with in life. So if you want to get rid of your social anxiety, you're going to have to put yourself in uncomfortable situations. Whatever situation that you feel social anxiety affects you the most, you should start there, because once you overcome that, you won't have to put yourself through anything else, because you're going to naturally realize that you're pretty much all in your head, and that you're constantly making progress at something. So you're naturally going to get more confident in it. It might not go away completely the first time, but each time you do it, it's going to suck a little less and a little less and a little less. And eventually you're going to get to a point where you're pretty confident in it and you no longer have social anxiety. And a lot of people, when it comes to getting rid of their social anxiety, they always tend to like go towards a substance, or very common for my age is nicotine. And I don't think that's a good option to do. I feel like you should just kind of get over your anxiety naturally without having to be reliant on a stimulant, because if you're in a situation where you can't get that stimulant, now you're gonna go panic. You're not gonna feel like you're capable of overcoming your social anxiety, and your social anxiety never really goes away then. It's kind of like when you were told to clean your room when you were a child, and you would just kind of push everything under the bed, so it made it look like your room was actually clean, but in reality it was completely still a pigsty. It was just designed differently, so it didn't really seem that way. It's the same thing. You're just hiding your emotions under a rug, and you're not really changing your emotions, and you're not growing as a person. The thing is, you're going to have to put yourself in these uncomfortable situations. If you want, you could start small and build your way up gradually, but that does take more time. So what I would really recommend is either start small talking with random strangers and then grow those interactions, or go to a public speaking class, or volunteer to go first on your public speaking course, or any course that you have to do an oral presentation. That's really going to help you mature and really get you out of your comfort zone. And once you're done, you're going to feel like the man. And I want you to have that same feeling I did, because when I got over my social anxiety and I was able to present comfortably in front of a group of people, or just being more social as a person, I'm not scared to talk to strangers. I'm not scared to have random conversations, and that's just something I look forward to. And I think it's a real joy of life, and I want everyone to experience that.